Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Race 5 of the Toyota SFR Championship. Quick look at the championship order before we head to Brands Hatch. Demon R leading the way on 77 points with SGP and Iceman not too far behind, both on 52 points. Then we have Steve F1 in 4th on 42 and then Jason in 5th on 38 with Twilight right behind him on 37 points. Hulkenberg, Hart, Bumpsall closely followed, but I'm hearing we're receiving a video from the DGT admins, so let's check that out. It's a reveal of the next championship car. So Dynamic GT League, the admins have exited their secret bunker and revealed that it will be the Red Bull Junior to be used in the next championship. James, what's your thoughts about that then?
Oh my god! Yeah! The best thing about this is you can see your helmet.
Oh yeah.
Have you thought about that?
You know what? I hadn't, but it is great if everybody can see your helmet.
Oh, it's just going to be so good to go wheel to wheel because we don't have to worry. Because they've actually got covers over the wheels so that when we go wheel to wheel and we have a little bang, we don't have to worry, even though it's technically an open wheel car. We don't have to worry about going flying up in the air.
That is very, very true. Thankfully, there's no halo on it either. But it is a brilliantly looking car. It's as close to an F1 car you're going to get on GT Sport, except for the F1 car that is on GT Sport. But yeah, I mean, for me, I think this is a brilliant little car. I know a lot of the DGT drivers tested a few different cars with the admins the other day. There was a lot of good comments about many cars, and this was definitely one of them. And what I will say is, James, from a commentary point of view, it's going to be very interesting seeing everybody's helmets and what kind of liveries people come up with for these cars, but also to see these cars flying around a racetrack.
Indeed, I'm going to be probably jumping on doing some livery straight away. I cannot wait to watch these guys bolt around some absolutely mental tracks in anger.
Yeah, definitely. Now, just to let everybody know as well, the settings for this car I'm hearing is, because obviously in Dynamic GT League they use a balance of performance at the moment. The thing is though, this car is a Group X and there is no balance of performance available. So what they've decided, James, is that with this car you are going to be allowed to take it to maximum power, minimum weight, meaning that it's going to be driven at its fastest possible settings.
That's just how I like my women now.
No comment.
So when it comes to me cars and my women, oh yeah.
Light and fast. So wrong. Okay, so that's the car reveal then. Yeah, drivers, get your cars ready for the next championship. Interesting thing about the car settings as well is if you find that maximum power is a little bit too much for you, you can turn it down a bit. Or if you find that minimum weight is a little too light for you, you can increase the weight. So there is a bit of wiggle room there for a bit of car setup. But those cars do handle brilliantly. And as James said, we will be able to see what kind of helmets all of the drivers are using. Okay, I think it's time to get on to the qualifying order. Sitting on pole position then is Rodders, next to Iceman, followed by Steve F1, Demon R, James Hulkenberg, DGT League SGP taking 6th, Jason 7th, SRI 8th, Tyler on his debut in 9th, and Groover rounds out the top 10 with Twilight, Drew, Dave Harper and Rich Blues at the back of the order. Let's hand over to the commentary team. So here we are then for the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in the Toyota SFRs. We've had the car reveal for the next championship, but now it's time for this race here. And away they go, but it's a poor start from Rodders on pole position. He's already down to third place. He's losing positions. Iceman took the lead, but now he's lost it to Steve F1. And SGP's had a brilliant start.
Yeah, SGP is up into 4th place. He's in the middle of a Rodders and Iceman sandwich.
That he is, and it looks like, is that Jason? Yeah, Jason's got himself up to 5th place as well as Demon R runs wide, but now he takes back 5th place. SGP is already up to 3rd, so through one corner, he's taken 2 places, and Iceman's trying to fight back on him. But look at that lead that Steve F1 has opened up straight away.
Yeah, he's pulling away, he's capitalising straight out of the box, and SGP, he's trying to come through the pack, and Demon R's also on Iceman.
Yeah, Iceman ran a tiny little bit wide through turn 4 there, so side by side they're going to go, are they? No, I think Demon R thinks better of it, but yeah, SGP's had an absolutely flying start. Oh, is that Rodders running a little bit wide? It is, and Demon R kicking up a little bit of dust for Hulkenberg to drive through.
Yeah, he'll be loving that, but Rodders just doesn't seem to have the same pace as Steve F1, and that's creating such a massive gap between P1 and 2.
Definitely. I wonder if maybe he's on a harder compounded tyre. I'm guessing most drivers will have gone for the soft compounded tyre here. The super softs, they do die very, very quickly around this track. Iceman coming under a lot of pressure from Demon R, and SGP in 3rd place is really applying pressure to the white liveried Rodders. I'm so glad I don't have to say similarly liveried anymore. But anyway, SGP is on the attack. Is he into turn 1? Turn 1, such a tricky corner, James, as Iceman shows as he runs a little bit wide.
Yeah, Iceman's having to straight away go defensive, but he believes he's far enough in front for Demon R not to shove it up the inside as he moves back to the racing line. And James Hulkenberg's actually joining in on this fight, but SGP, he's wanting to get past Rodders more than a diabetic kid at a sweet shop.
I didn't know Rodders was in a diabetic sweet shop. Hang on, diabetic sweet shop, they don't exist. Sorry, you totally threw me off there, James, with that analogy. Totally. But yeah, so could Rodders be on a harder compounded tyre? He could be. It would explain his start, but I'm actually hearing that Rodders didn't have any throttle applied as the lights were coming on at the start of the race, so that may explain why he got a bit of a slow start as SGP's really on the attack.
Yeah, can he try and force an error? That's all he's going to have to do through here. This is pretty much single file. If you go offline, you're only going to lose time unless you're 100% sure you're going to be able to make the overtake.
Yeah, definitely. And being as close as SGP is to Rodders, it's not going to be easy for SGP to see where the corners are. So he's doing extremely well. Oh, he's having a look around the outside, heading towards turn 1. He's got a decent run on him here, James.
Yeah, Rodders going to have to go defensive, and will that... I'm not too sure if this is going to be the best thing. I think Iceman's going to have the best opportunity here, because if these two start fighting, he's just going to shove it up the inside. Yeah,
SGP's made the move up the inside, and you know what? Iceman is trying to capitalise straight away. Rodders on that dirty line through turn 1, got a little bit of understeer, nicked to the side mirror of SGP's car, and now he's under pressure from Iceman, but Iceman's coming under pressure from Demon R. So Iceman tried capitalising, but Demon R making the move now into turn 4. Is he up the inside? Yeah, side by side they go, and Hulkenberg's watching this and waiting for them all to make an absolute mess of it.
Yeah, Iceman trying to make a move on Rodders, ended up losing a place to Demon R there. So here we go, is he going to keep it up the inside? No, he's going to have to back out of it as Demon R takes the apex.
Yeah, nice overtake there. So SGP making moves, Demon R making moves. Oh, I thought he was going to run wide. I think SGP's gone wide though. Yes, he has. He's lost the position to Rodders, and now he's coming under pressure from Demon R. So a battle for 3rd and 4th through the almost blind apex right-hander into the last couple of corners now. The penultimate corner is quite a tight corner, James, that left-hander, but a very quick corner as well.
Yeah, it's looking to me also on this track map, so we've got this front gaggle of cars up to P6, and then from 7th down, there's a massive gaggle behind as well.
There is, so we've definitely got 2 packs going on here as the front pack starts to close up again. We are keeping an eye on that battle further back. However, this is a battle for the lead of the race at the moment. Steve F1 still leading. Rodders hanging on for dear life onto second place. SGP is going to try and compose himself and close that gap up again as Demon R is all over the back of him. Iceman trying to move, as we said. Oh, SGP's ran wide. He's trying to make a move on Rodders, but runs wide. That's going to compromise him down into turn 4. Can he make any move? No, he's going to tuck up right under the rear wing of Rodders, but that's going to cause... He's lost a little bit of time there, and Demon R's got to run on him now.
Yeah, it's all about the exit onto a long straight. If you nail the exit onto a long straight, you're in the pound seat. If you nail the exit into a short turn, there's no point. But SGP's going up the inside of Rodders. He must have run wide there. Demon R's also shoving up the inside, so Rodders lost 3 places now as Iceman is up the inside as well.
Yeah, I think Rodders must have ran a little bit wide. Oh, Demon R touches the grasses sideways round the corner, but SGP's he's already off the track. I'm wondering if Demon R was a little bit sideways there, because he saw that SGP was going off and he's twitching again. Oh my goodness, his arse is probably sliding around and he's sitting down.
SGP's now down to P6. James Hulkenberg managed to just get in front of him, and yeah, SGP, I think he's got a lot of pace, but he just needs to recompose himself and re-attack.
That he does. I can't emphasise how much Demon R was lucky to get away with touching the grass there, being completely sideways. And to be honest, if SGP had actually made the corner, I think Demon R would have wiped him out.
Yeah, so SGP now having to go on James Hulkenberg, who's run onto the AstroTurf. That's not got a lot of grip out there. And now SGP's going for the switchback, but James Hulkenberg covers that one off.
That he does. Hulkenberg does like to defend, and he knows how to defend, but SGP chucking it up the inside. I do think SGP may have given Hulkenberg a little bit of a nudge through turn 2, though, and that won't please Hulkenberg. We'll see if a rivalry is going to form there. But Steve F1, I want to quickly mention, we're already 5 laps into a 27-lap race, and Steve F1 is doing an absolutely phenomenal job holding a lead against what has got to be fair 4 brilliant drivers in this league.
Oh, it looks like SGP's just run a bit wide there, and James Hulkenberg's up the inside.
That he is, into the blindish apex. Oh, but SGP, is he ran wide?
I don't know there. It looked like James Hulkenberg were up his inside. I don't know if it didn't look like there were contacts, but there could have been.
Oh, SGP's off again. I'm hearing that he's going absolutely mental on his radio to his pit crew, going, Hulkenberg hit me, Hulkenberg hit me.
And yeah, so here is the rear pack, headed by Dave Bahar. SRI is in P7 and SGP's in the pit, so he's going to come out way behind this lot.
That he is. The pack is going to be an interesting potential feature of this race. Oh, as Drew's massively sideways, and obviously we are 6 laps into the race before coming to look at this rear pack, but that's because the battle up at the front was very, very active. SGP into the pits is going to be interesting to see what he can do with a strategy from here, but SRI all over the back of Dave the Harp. Jason, he was up in 5th early on in the opening lap of the race. He's now in 8th with Groover behind him in 9th, and Jason trying to make moves, and nice to see that Groover braked early there, went for safety rather than an accident, and it may work for him with a decent run out of that left-hander as Twilight in 10th place is trying to close it with this couple of cars. Where has SGP come out, James? Do we know?
I'm not too sure.
There he is.
At the track map.
11th, I think. I just saw him in the background. He came out in 11th place, so he is closing up to the pack. Having a look back now. Rodders, big sideways, clip the grass.
Oh.
That's the corner. That's the corner that Demon R was sideways around earlier, and I told you that Demon R was lucky. That's what could have happened. Rodders massively unfortunate, but Dave the Harpy's running wide now. Now he's spinning in the same corner, and SGP's going around as well. But Dave the Harpy's going to end up being a little bit dizzy from that one.
The outfield's a bit like Kylie Minogue, and not because he's short, it's because he's spinning around.
It looks like we've got Jason going slow as well. I think Jason is backing off to let somebody through. I think that may be Dave the Harp. Yes, I am hearing that there was a little bit of contact between Dave the Harp and Jason going into that corner, and it was on the way into the corner. Dave the Harp ran wide and sort of spun around on the grass, and not a lot he or Jason could do. Jason then hit the brakes to try and avoid Dave the Harp, and SGP hit the back of Jason, so carnage there. But SGP having a look up the inside of Groover, and you know what, Groover has impressed me quite a bit in his first 3 races in the DGT League. He's not a maniac.
Yeah, so that's what we want. We don't want maniacs in this league.
What about
especially in the in the commentary box as well. We don't want them.
No.
But
what about
yeah,
Tasmaniacs?
I'm loving the livery on Tyler's car there, the very Senna-inspired livery.
Definitely Tyler on his debut race in the Dynamic GT League. He is a driver that a few of us know from a previous racing league, so he's all over the back of Twilight at the moment. And Twilight, he's off into the gravel. I was just about to say that Twilight was saying before this race as SGP is all over the back of Tyler here. And Tyler's running wide and he clips the grass on the right-hander and into the barrier he goes. That's a number of positions lost. Steve F1 though into the pits, race leader into the pits. Demonar has spotted him in the pits and it was the soft compound tyre for both of those guys.
So we're coming up the pit, where is it's Demonar coming out the pit just behind James Hulkenberg, but James Hulkenberg's on old tyres. I expect Demonar to come past pretty quickly.
Quite possibly. You know what, those couple of collisions, or the collision we saw the SGP involved in there, has been massively costly. So instead of being in this battle for the lead, he's now in the pack. Hulkenberg coming under a lot of pressure with those older tyres on his car. Demonar having a look up the inside to turn 4, but Rodders with his spin as well. He's now behind Groover. Where's SGP? SGP's not even in the frame at the moment.
There he is. He's
ahead. Yeah. He's not in the frame, that's because he's ahead. What was you saying about not wanting maniacs in the commentary box?
Well, as long as you ain't got a knife, that's all I care about. But here goes Rodders now.
Got scissors.
Out of the pits. He's out of the pits. He's just got past Groover. So yeah, after his little spin from 4th place, he's back up to 6th, and he's
holy cow! That's Rich Blues. Rich Blues going off there very, very quickly. Rich Blues actually sporting a new livery at this event as well. He asked SGP if he could do him a livery, and I found out, by the way, Rich Blues is not Jamaican in any way, shape or form. Tyler's backing out. I think Tyler may have made contact with someone. He's going slow to let someone through. I think it may be Dave Hart. So yeah, Rich Blues. Actually, you know what? I might wait. I'll save this story until we're on board with him, shall we? We can have a proper look at his livery. That might be a good idea. There he is. He's in the camera now. Bloody hell. No, it's not. Oh dear. Okay, Steve F1, 2nd place. Iceman leading the race. Hasn't pitted yet. So Demonar, pitting same time as Steve F1, has managed to close that gap in.
Really, if these two are smart, either Demonar needs to do a Dan Dare overtake straight away and get after Iceman, or if he don't feel that he's able to get past, a little bit of contact, if you don't feel he can get past without having to resort to colliding, it'd be best just to tuck into the slipstream and let Steve F1 guide the way back towards Iceman.
Okay, why would you do that then, James? I'm curious, why would you not go for the overtake?
It's not because you don't feel that you're quicker, but sometimes if you've got relatively similar pace to another driver, it's not worth going side by side, causing potential collisions that's only going to end up resulting in you slowing down. And the driver has got older tyres. He's not learned from his earlier mistake. And there goes James Hulkenberg and Rodders. And SGP needs to get out of the road. You see him comes to the pack. It's a good job he's ghosting, because he would be dead. Yes,
that he would. Just goes to show how tricky that corner is. And again, how lucky Demonar was. Because Demonar did exactly what the rest of the guys have done. But he's so far been the only one we've seen keep it on the road. Holy cow, Dave the Harp.
I think he judged that to
perfection.
I was about to say perfection until he hit the barrier on
so back to these two then. It's now a battle for the lead because Iceman has pitted. Iceman has gone a good 3 minutes longer than these two before pitting, and there he is in the back. Yeah, there he is in the background. But yeah, I mean, you're right, James. I mean, they go side by side. These two collide, then they both lose out. But also, if Demonar just follows Steve F1, there's minimal time loss. But as soon as they're side by side, that's time loss coming in.
Yeah, and it isn't that I'm promoting drivers not bothering overtaking, but if you're having to break your neck to actually overtake, you're going to have to break your neck to stay in front, and you're only going to end up losing time. If you feel that you've got very, very similar pace to a driver around you, more often than not, it's easier, especially if somebody's on a different strategy, to just tuck into the slipstream and don't lose as much time. But demonR now, knowing that Iceman's pitted and he's coming out with fresh tyres, he's busting at the seams to get past Steve F1.
The other thing as well is when you're behind a car, you can save a considerable amount of tyre wear. Whereas if you go dandare in it, you're going to kill your tyres, and demonR is getting ever so close to the back of Steve F1. I've got a feeling, that demonR is just taking his time and working out where may be the best opportunity to capitalise on Steve F1. And the feature that I know you've seen in the past and I've seen in the past, James, of demonR's driving, what he likes to tend to do is make a driver think he's going for an overtake. That driver then gets himself out of position. demonR doesn't go for the overtake, but because the other driver was out of position, they're now slower on the next bit, and then he overtakes him.
Yeah, and it's crucial to really set that up a few corners before long straight. And now he's up the inside. Is he going to try and make the move? Steve F1's giving him a bit of room. He's up the inside. Can he make this move now on the brakes?
That was close. Steve F1 just went, yeah, I'm going for the apex, mate. I don't care where you are.
Yeah. And this is the single file corner. We've seen so many spins, crashes, and wallops on the exit of. But all the time that these two are going side by side, Iceman is just closing in, and there he is in the background.
Yeah, so just as I said demonR would be composed and get Steve F1 out of position, he went chucking up the inside. But now, though, I'll tell you what, he's got a decent run heading towards turn one. Turn one, James, is it a corner you look for making an overtake on, chucking up the inside maybe?
No, I would always, especially because it's off camber, I would always try and put somebody under pressure into there and try and nail them up towards turn two. But if that's not on, there's plenty of other corners. But here comes SGP now on the back of Twilight.
Yeah, he's got a very good run, and side by side. I mean, if you're side by side as you come off the final corner, yeah, you go for the move, but this could get interesting. SGP does make the move, but he's running a little bit wide. He's on the marbles, and Twilight's going to hold on to the position. Interestingly, Twilight had to break early, but Dave the Harp's going to make it 3 wide into the hairpin. Is this going to work? It is for Dave the Harp. That's a beautiful bit of sneaky driving.
Yeah, it was. He just watched both SGP and Twilight.
Oh, but he's gone off!
Well, it was good up until he ran wide, but yeah, turn one, he just watched them both run wide and then he went inside, but now he's lost all in places. And right now, I would say if I were demonR, if I cannot get past, I would focus on preserving my tyre wear and fending off Iceman rather than attacking Steve F1. But it looks like demonR's choosing to fight Steve F1 tooth and nail. He's going to try and round the outside into the final corner.
He is, and they're going to stay side by side on the exit of the final corner, and this is going to allow Iceman to catch up a little bit. But what's going to happen down at turn one? demonR is slightly ahead of Steve F1. Steve F1's going to brake early, and he does, and that's what Twilight had to do. But demonR's round wide. He's round wide. Is he in the gravel? Yes, he is.
He's in it. Oh, and he's cooked the front left tyre, run a touch wide, and he only took the front left tyre to be just a touch on the gravel, and he was just sucked off.
That he was, and he's losing more and more time. He's gone off at the next 2 corners as well, but that's worked brilliantly for Iceman, because it's meant that Steve F1 has lost a bit of time, and Iceman has managed to close up. But looking back at the pack, SRI's got himself up to 6th place, DGT League SGP is into 7th, Dave the Harp has recovered, got himself to 8th, Tyler is in 9th, closing the door on Drew, and then we've got Groover and Twilight. But yeah, I mean, Dave the Harp, he did a beautiful overtake into the hairpin, James, and then it's a little bit like going on a date with a beautiful woman. It's going absolutely amazingly, and then you crap yourself.
Either that or she laughs and it's an evil cackle.
Like an evil witch.
Right at the end of a laugh she goes like a donkey, and then it's like, yeah, I think got a cracking body look, but just calm it down on the laughing, really.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to go there, because sometimes I snort by accident. You know when you're laughing so much you just go
oh yeah, well there's not wrong with that. That's just being human, you know. But anyway, Iceman, can he find a way past Steve F1 on fresher tyres? He pitted a few laps after Steve F1 and demonR. demonR's into the pit lane with Jade Hulkenberg.
as Iceman's going for the move, he's looking up the inside into the hairpin. Steve F1 couldn't fend it off, and maybe Steve F1 is realising as well, just as you were saying, James, that his tyres are a little older, and if Demon R has just pitted, as Iceman runs a little bit wide, Demon R's just pitted, I think we're going to be seeing Steve F1 pitted soon as well. I'm wondering actually, has Demon R pitted, because he lost a load of time, has he pitted to go for an undercut?
I probably would say so, because he more often than not, he always does mention to us he'll go at least 10 minutes before pitting it on the, currently we've only just gone 20 minutes, so I would be expecting him to pit on this lap. So he's just pitted one lap early, but Demon R drifting through turn 3 there.
That's amazing, James. Demon R's driving 2 cars at the same time. Because that's Dave the Harp.
Yeah, Dave the Harp. It's because the liveries are just so similar.
Yeah, white. It's like that dress, isn't it? Is it white or is it gold?
Oh, bloody hell. Anyway, Dave the Harp. Oh, he's running a bit wide there, and this is going to allow Tyler to have a little cheeky look. But and he's running wide again and just managed to get away with it. Just heard that plenty of drivers, if they go too wide in that corner, they usually end up dead. But I think Dave the Harp's got some of his cat's 9 lives.
Yeah, quite possibly. Okay, Steve F1 has pitted and he's come out of the pits ahead of Demon R. So I think Demon R did go for an undercut, but because he'd lost so much time on his in-laps, he's still behind Steve F1, but the gap is now closer than it was before the pit stops. This pack at the back, though, what a battle we've got going on. Twilight, I was trying to say earlier, he was saying before this race he absolutely hates this track, and he was thinking about not racing, and he's not racing right now because he's just binned it. He's just binned it.
But yeah, God, there's a lot going on in this backpack. But well, that's all I can say. It's the battle of second place right now. But as we see Dave the Harp once again doing a bit of grass cutting and wiggling his rear end, and there comes Rich Blues. Is he going to manage to make a way through? No, he is not. But what I was going to say is, before this all kicks off again, Steve F1 was very, very smart. He didn't fight Iceman tooth and nail for the position of P1, because he knew if he were fighting tooth and nail for P1, he would probably lose out on the undercut to Demon R.
Yep.
So he pretty much used his brain and just tucked back into the slipstream behind Iceman, pitted and managed to come out from Demon R. So that just shows you sometimes using your brain and not fighting can be quicker than fighting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, SGP, after all his trials and tribulations in this race, is holding 6th place ahead of the pack. Of 7th is Groover, and SRI having a look at the inside of Jason. Jason going for a little bit of a yellow, blue, grey camo. Rich Blues, though, having a look at Dave the Harp. Dave the Harp's got the slipstream of SRI, but now Rich Blues is going to have the slipstream of Jason. Who's going to make this corner? Dave, I think, was late on the brakes. Ray is late on the brakes, but Jason is now in a bit of a sandwich. Has Rich Blues got ahead of him? No, Rich Blues is still behind them. This is absolutely epic stuff as SRI goes a little bit wide, but he's going for a switchback. Rich Blues has a sneaky look, but can't do anything about Ray's switchback there. But Ray having a look up the inside of Dave the Harp. Interesting. Yeah. Dave gets hit in that corner and he stays on the track. He didn't get hit the previous lap and he ended up pocket, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I think SRI would try to shove his car in a position. What's gone on there?
I think Twilight may have just accidentally shunted someone deep off into the gravel at turn 4 because he was going. I saw a car go flying and I saw a silver car going slow, so I think Twilight's waited for him there, but SRI is still pressuring Dave the Harp, and Rich Blues there. Rich Blues is doing well, to keep up with the pack at the moment. Always Dave Harp runs a little bit wide.
Yeah, and here comes SRI up the inside. No, he backs out, but he uses his brain, and there is Dave the Harp all over the back of Jason. So I think there's a bit of a feud erupting here with SRI all over the back of Dave the Harp. Earlier on in the lap, SRI tried to shove his car in a gap which just didn't exist.
Oh, that gap exists.
That gap exists, and he's managed to do that cleanly. That was very nice indeed, and he could get 2 positions here, so up the inside of Jason.
Now, if Dave was wise here, he'd break early, which he has done to try and get a better run off the exit of the corner. But Jason's gone deep, he's gone wide into the corner. That gives Dave the Harp and Rich Blues the position, and SRI holds on to 8th place. It's frantic in the pack, it usually is. A quick look though up at the front, Iceman now leading the race ahead of Steve F1. There's a few seconds between them, but 2 different strategies going on. Demon R has not been able to keep up with Steve F1. That's a surprise. Hulkenberg, he's now sitting in 4th place, and you know what? He's still in a fight for a podium here. He's not that far behind Demon R. Rodders, after his spin, he's sitting in 5th place, and then in 6th place we've got SGP. SGP, I think at the moment it takes 6th place with how this race has gone for him so far, and then we're back to the pack going from Groover down.
Yeah, so SRI now on the back of Groover. Can he make his way through, as we've got Rich Blues having a little look at Davey Harp, and I think Davey Harp is spewing out a lot of smoke and trying to put off everybody behind him probably, but SRI now all over Groover.
I can't believe you forgot Rich Blues' name for a moment then. It's Dave the Harp, he's gone wide, and SRI is making the move on Groover, but you know what? Tyler, opportunistic, making a move on Rich Blues as well. Can SRI hold on to the outside of the final corner? He can.
He did it. Well done there to SRI. Managed to make the move around the outside. And so Groover's now holding up Tyler, but Tyler's up the inside in the Senna livery. Oh, we've got Rich Blues drifting in the gravel.
Yeah, I think Tyler was being nicely aggressive there, trying to make moves. Jason trying to recover, getting back up to 9th place. Can he? Yes, up the inside of Tyler. It's interesting this, James, seeing drivers trying to make overtakes and actually losing positions.
Yeah, I think it just the nature of this circuit, it's very fast flowing corners. I think there's only turn 2 and 3 which is actually quite tight and slow, but here comes Jason, and I believe that Dave Harp just pitted, so he's going to be closing in on these guys if they keep fighting.
Yeah, Groover and Tyler then side by side, are they? No, Groover's held on to the position, so Iceman then into the pits for his 2nd stop, might even be his last stop of the race. It's going to be massively important for him to see where he comes out on the track though, James. I mean, one of the features of races we've seen previously is Tyler's wide. Is he going to spin it? No, he's done well.
Yeah, well done there, just to hold on to it. He did what Demon R did earlier on in the race and just managed to hold on to the car really through a bit of drifting, but there is SRI in 7th place. He's pretty much the leader of the backpack, and he's up to 6th place now as James Hulkenberg pits.
Yeah, SGP has also pitted. I think he was on the medium compound tyre, but SRI, he's doing well here to be sitting in 6th place at the moment. But yeah, I was trying to say that a feature of the races we've seen in the past is a little bit of a separation between a few at the front and then the main pack. And I think at this track, James, the main pack has just been far enough back for the front 4 to be able to pit and come out ahead. Unfortunately though for SGP, when he pitted first, he came out behind the pack as Dave the Harp.
Yeah, I think he just tagged the back of Tyler and that just put him into a bit of a flat spin. SGP, I think he was there. Unluckily for SGP, it just caused contact, but luckily for Dave the Harp, it righted him out there. He could have been spinning. Oh,
SRI, he's off into the gravel, unfortunately, and SGP has just come out the pits as well. I think there was a little bit of contact there between himself and Tyler, though. SGP's getting his elbows out, and that won't be very nice. They're a bit pointy.
SRI is having a look at Dave the Harp in the background. It'd be good to see what them two are doing, because it's going to get a bit spicy. I think somebody's off on the grass there.
It looked like the blue front end of Dave the Harp's bumper that I saw there, so I think Dave may have just gone a little bit wide, and if that's the case, I think Ray may have just given him the position back, because Ray has not overtaken him. Or Groover, Jason and SGP getting ever so close. SGP on brand new tyres. Jason has been hung out to dry on the outside of the track.
It's going to be tight up the inside. That's probably, you're going to have to brake very early to hold on to that, and he's done it. Oh, has he?
just.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to take the hat off to him because, probably wouldn't have seen myself if I were out there going inside.
No, like you said, it's not an easy corner to make a move on. So, we still have Steve F1. Steve F1 is leading the race now, and there is Iceman not too far behind him. However, Iceman is looking to be on a 2-stop, James, where Steve, I think, is on a 3.
Yeah, so Iceman's just pitted. He's come out in front of Demon Eye. Luckily for Demon Eye, wasn't able to hold him up, and he's able to now attack Steve F1.
And Tyler's attacking Jason, trying to go around the outside of the fast right-handers on the back end of the circuit, and he's still trying it, and Jason gives him the room. That's brilliant driving from the pair of them.
Indeed, so now here comes Iceman. This is the move for the lead of the race. We know that Steve F1's probably going to have to pit one more time. Iceman's going to try and go to the end. So Steve F1, if he wants to win this, he really cannot allow Iceman to come through. So this is the time to really start defending. Unlike earlier in the race where he just let Iceman go, now he needs to really get his elbows out.
Yeah, that he does. He needs to hold Iceman up as much as he can. Demon R has just pitted as well, so it'll be interesting to see where Steve F1 comes out of the pits when he does make his final stop. But you're absolutely right, James. This is the time for Steve F1 to defend, because if he does let Iceman through, Iceman's got much fresher tyres and potentially can run away. But Steve can't afford to do that.
Yeah, Iceman up the inside now. This is a really, really fast corner, and we know that Steve F1 likes to chop the front end off in that one. And he, I'm pretty sure he put the bejesus into Iceman through that corner. But here we go now. We've only got a few more corners to go. Is Steve F1 going to pit, or he's going to try and hold him up even more?
Well, he's definitely slower through the corners, and Iceman can see that. I mean, in a way, Iceman will want to get past, but at the same time, he can't afford to lose any time here. He's going to... I think Steve F1's going for the pits. Yeah, he took a line around that corner that just hinted I'm going for the pit lane. So Demon R, after pitting, he's come out behind Rodders, who from sitting on pole position is now up to third.
Yeah, but he's on old tyres, and Demon R is going to hopefully make his way past because he's fighting Steve F1, who's just coming out of the pit lane. Where is he? I think he's just in front of Rodders, so Demon R has gone for the undercut twice now, and it's just not worked. But if he's going to get on with it, he needs to get on the brakes really late and dive up the inside of Rodders, but Rodders runs wide.
That he does, and he's still running wide. I mean, it's tricky when you're on brand new tyres and the car ahead is on worn tyres because they're going to go through corners slower, but Demon R making the most of the exit of the corner. Can Rodders do anything about it into turn 4? No, he can't. Demon R a little later on the brakes, but he's running wide. That's going to give Rodders a chance of fighting back. Side by side they go then. What we've got to keep an eye on now as well, though, James, is that gap between Steve F1 and Iceman. Neither of them need to pit again, and Rodders has got a decent run on Demon R here as James goes for another spoonful of Cocoa Pops. But Rodders on the outside of the corner, he can't hold the line, he hasn't got the grip, so that's Demon R to third. So yeah, we've got to keep an eye on that gap between Iceman and Steve F1 because neither have to pit again, and Steve F1 now has the fresher tyre. Hulkenberg, though, he's not that far behind Rodders, you know.
Yeah, he's not that far behind Rodders, but he was in front of Rodders. He's pitted for medium tyres, but he's just not been quick enough on them. And he's falling back. He does not want to fall back into this pack because it's a bit mental.
That it is. I think Groover just pushed. I think who was it? I apologise. I can't remember who it was. He did nudge somebody off onto the grass there, but he did wait for them. And it is one of the features of the DGT League that if you do hit somebody off the track, just wait for them and let them back through. But what I will say is you've got to do it in a safe place. You don't have to do it straight away, because if you just bang the brakes on and there's cars behind you, they're going to hit you. So you do have to do it in a safe place. Oh, it's all right, spinning in the final corner, and Drew gives him another tap as he's already going around.
Yeah, I think he just touched the grass there, and the rear end said, "You're kidding me," and there he went. But yeah, as you were saying, if you take somebody out and you kind of think, I'm going to let them back past, number one, off the racing line. Number two, check your mirrors before you get on the brakes. Because the last thing you want to do is take somebody out and think, what I'll do is I'll avoid a penalty by letting them back through, and then you go and cause another collision. Yeah. It's a double whammy.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, you're trying to do the right thing, you've just done it in the wrong way. I think people can understand that one time, but after that, yeah, it's kind of, I mean, braking on the racing line is a definite no-no anyway, but yeah, just do it safely, that's all I would say. Jason, though, he's all over the back of David Harper, and David Harper's had a very interesting race, as has Tyler and Groover, to be fair. I mean, these guys have been battling for quite some time, and I am trying to keep an eye on Iceman and Steve F1, and Steve F1 is closing the gap, but only by a small margin, as we are, 5.5 minutes left of this race, as SGP run wide at the final corner. Oh no, I thought he was going to spin it around there. You know what, I think he's going for the pit. Yeah, I think he realised then after the spin go for the pits.
If he pits now, his tyres may be cooked, but it's just going to be right behind this pack again.
Yeah. I think it's, SGP has pretty much held every position in this race so far.
Apart from Cleveland.
Yeah, unfortunately. Tyler.
Sorry, SGP.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Hulkenberg's had any pole positions this championship, is it?
No, we've been nowhere near.
Okay, SGP, having come out of the pits, has come out in 9th place. He's on brand new tyres. The car's ahead are on slightly worn tyres. So I think SGP, this may be a race he wants to forget. Who's that in the background? Drew going wide in the background. But yeah, it may be a race that SGP wants to forget. But at the same time, now it's a case for a number of the drivers of just get to the end. Oh, and SGP's wide again.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much throwing his dummy out. But as well, where is Davey Arp? I've got no clue where he is. I don't know if he's pitted or he's come out behind these, but I cannot see him on screen. He's usually been within this
there
pack.
He is.
Oh, there he is. And he's with his best friend, SRI.
I wonder if Scottish people dream in Scotland.
Dream?
Yeah,
Dream. Oh, right. Oh, it looks like Drew's getting forced off there by
Yeah, so they were definitely giving doors, let's put it that way. Oh no, Drew's got lag, that's what it is. Drew's car is lagging about, unfortunately. We saw it badly last week. It's not been too bad from what I've seen so far in this race. Oh, we've got 3-4 wide. How are we in this situation with like 2 laps to go?
Davey Hart inside. I almost called him Demon Hart once again with that similar livery. But yeah, SGP has managed to get through the pack. He just needs to pull away now. As Davey Hart is sideways and he's wheel banging with somebody in the background.
That he is. So SGP has now managed to get himself back up to 6th place. He needs to pull away from that gaggle of cars. Okay, we haven't seen him for a while, but because of the gaps between the lead, SGP is spinning, spinning. Oh dear. Oh, you know what? That's caused the absolute concertina effect here as we are 2 by 2.5 as Twilight and Drew are going sideways down the straight.
Yes, Davey Hart managed to make the way through there. He's managed to take 2 moves. How did he do that? I'm not. He's able to part the water. He's like Moses.
I'll just say nothing. I'll say, yeah, it could be. Okay, Iceman leading the race. Steve F1, he's managed to close the gap, but not enough at the moment. We've got, 2.5 minutes left of this race, and there's about 4 seconds between the front 2 and 4 seconds between second and third. Rodder's about 5 seconds behind that. Hulkenberg is in a little bit of no man's land, but he's in 5th place, ahead of a battle that is now led by Dave the Harp in 6th. SRI in 7th, battling with Jason, who's putting him under pressure. Is he going to go for the move? No, but Twilight has a sneaky little look as Jason runs a little bit wide.
Yeah, it's Twilight up the inside in towards turn 2. That should be an easy move, but here comes SRI on Davey Hart. Are we on the final lap, you say?
No, we're not on the final lap yet. We've still got another one to go.
So can SRI manage to steal 6th place away from Davey Hart, his nemesis in this race?
We'll have to wait to see. In the background, we can see Groover trying to make moves on Rich Blues, and Rich Blues' beautiful livery is Jamaican again. But I have found out that he is not from Jamaica. Would you like to know, James, why he's got a Jamaican livery?
Because he likes Jamaican food?
He might do. It's where he went on his honeymoon. Oh, we've got a car off. SRI is off. He's not going to be fighting Dave the Hart for 6th place. But SGP in his spin, or after his spin, sorry, is trying to come back through again as Groover and SRI are now side by side just behind Rich Blues.
So I don't think this is where both of the league admins expected to find themselves on the second to last lap. But there is SGP going for a bit of grass cutting, so SRI and SGP in the wars at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I was saying Rich Bluesy went on honeymoon to Jamaica, and SGP said to him, "Okay, well, would you like your wife's name on the car?" He went, "No, put my name on it."
Yeah, that's a weird man. Anyway,
you say that if Vicky was there, you wouldn't.
Well, Vicky is. Where's SGP going?
Jamaica. Sorry about that. Okay, we are on to the last lap of the race now, James. Looking at the track map, the race leaders have only got 2 more corners to go before this race is over for them. It's looking good for Iceman as Twilight is having a look up the inside of Jason on a track that Twilight absolutely hates. I think he'd be happy to be sitting in 8th.
Yeah, we're hearing as well that James Lundberg went to a set of mediums to try and risk going to the end.
Here we go, Iceman crossing the line.
Iceman.
For the win.
And Steve F1 with a 3-stop strategy just misses out on P2. Demon R P3, Rodders P4, James Lundberg P5, and then
Twilight!
It's kicking off.
Oh.
So the battle is, I think Davey App's just about going to hold on to P6, but it's just behind. It's just absolute carnage on the final lap.
It is. Well, I don't know about mayhem is what I would use. I've no idea what's happening anywhere, but SGP is sitting in 13th. Twilight is now 12th. I think David Harper is crossing the line in 6th, and SRI is crossing the line in 7th. It's side by side between 2 yellow cars, and I couldn't tell who that was, so we'll have a look at the race finishing order in a moment. And Drew, unfortunately, the cops come last to protect and serve the grass.
I've got to say though, Iceman once again taking the win. 2 wins on the bounce now. Could he be an outsider for this championship?
You know what? Possibly. But if he wants for that to really be true, he's going to need Demon R to have 1, maybe 2 absolutely diabolical races of scoring 1 or 2 points. Because of the gap that Demon R has got now. Iceman, obviously, I don't think he raced in the first race of the championship, so he has got that sort of going in his favour, but he's definitely come in, taken 2 wins in 3 or 4 races, I think in 3 races. So yeah, doing an absolutely fantastic job, and if he keeps winning, it could get interesting up at the front. But I've got to say, Steve F1 impressed me a lot in that race there. Pulling away at the start, his strategy looked spot on. Unfortunately, I think in that last stint, he just didn't have enough in the tyres to be able to close the gap up.
Yeah. But I think it were not only that, I think the fact that Demon R kept trying to do the undercut, which probably were making him not actually focus on Iceman. And it wasn't until the final stint they actually realised, hang on, this is pretty much going to be it now. Whereas earlier on in the race, he let Iceman go thinking he were on a slower strategy, and it ended up being the quickest strategy. So,
well,
got to say,
I'd perhaps look at it a slightly different way. I mean, I've been talking to Demon R. He is a good friend of mine. Sounds just like me, by the way. I was talking to him.
I've never heard him.
Haven't you? Oh,
I've heard. Somebody was telling me that James Luckenberg sounded like a twin of mine, and I was like, no way.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's from Bradford.
No one sounds like you, James. You're a one-off. You're a 1 in a million. But yeah, I was talking to Demon R, and he was saying that he went for the undercut at the first pit stop, and it worked. He closed the gap up to Steve F1. The second and third one was a case of the tyres would go in, and the undercut was to try and close the gap, not get past. So you can use the undercut to your advantage to either take a place or close the gap. But it was definitely not a good race for the Dynamic GT League reigning champion, that's for sure. So we'll have to see what's going to happen at the next race, which is a very different track. Red Bull Ring, short. It's only got 6 corners, it's not massively high speed, it's not massively technical, but it could be. I mean, we had a race recently, James, where it was a very short track and it was a brilliant race. I think Red Bull Ring Short could be another one of those.
Yeah, it could be. It's just all about making sure you nail the final corner and turn 1. If you're running wide through there, you could find yourself in a world of trouble. But that were a pretty decent race. Probably not as entertaining as last week's, but I think we're seeing now that Iceman definitely has a lot of consistency, along with Steve F1.
Yeah, definitely. And we are seeing more and more improvements from drivers a little further down the order. I mean, okay, we've seen a few bumps and a few crashes, but to be fair, Brands Hatch is one of those tracks. The nature of the circuit is very easy to dip a wheel on the grass and lose control of the car and take people with you. But we have seen improvements of driving, and it can't be easy racing in that pack where you think, oh, can I have a look at overtaking this guy? Hang on a minute, what's he doing overtaking me? So it's good to see. What I am interested to see is how the drivers are going to react to the admin's car reveal for next season's championship, which will be in the Red Bull Junior. And just to let everybody know, the cost of that car is 350,000 credits, which, if you're thinking, bloody hell, that's a lot, how am I going to get that much money? Do the track experiences. You can, if you get golds, you can earn 40 grand in 20 seconds. So within 5 minutes you can earn 200 grand easy. So
if only that were true in reality.
Yes, definitely.
20 grand every 20 seconds.
Yeah, it would be nice. It definitely would. Okay, James, once again, thank you for joining us on the commentary and for giving us your instant reaction of the car reveal.
I've got to say, after that reveal, it's a bit of a come down with that race. I really feel we should have had the reveal at the end, you know, just to finish off, put the cherry on the top of the Bakewell.
Quite possibly. A Bakewell is not a Bakewell without a cherry.
No. But you need a set of them, don't you? Set
pack
of
6.
Cherry Bakewells.
Pack of 6 easily, yeah.
Well, yeah, that'd been 3 with it, but yeah.
Anyway, slightly off. Maybe that's what your next car livery should be, James. A Bakewell card.
Oh, yeah, what's his name?
Kipling.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be sponsored by. Makes exceedingly good kit.
He does actually, I do like this case. Okay, yeah, James, thanks for joining us on the commentary. So let's recap then. Iceman taking a great win, everybody else, very interesting race. But let's take a look at the final race order. Iceman then, with his 2-stop strategy, taking the victory 3.5 seconds ahead of Steve F1, who was nearly 7 seconds ahead of Demon R. Then we have Rodders, James Hulkenberg, Dave the Harp, SRI, Jason, Groover. Tyler finishes 10th on his debut. Rich Blues in 11th, his best result so far this season. Twilight finished 12th, going off at the last corner unfortunately. And DGT League SGP, well, he still earns a point, but I think even he will be frustrated at how his race went there. Okay, on to the championship standings. Still leading the way then is Demon R on 92 points, with Iceman now 20 points behind him in second place. Steve F1 is sitting in third on 59 points, while DGT League SGP has 55. Jason is in fifth still on 46 points, and he's now joined there by James Hulkenberg. Then we have Dave the Harp, Rodders, Twilight, all very close, and then Bunzel with a 10-point gap over Rich Blues, and then Groover, SRI, formerly Gary, My Bad, Tyler and Drew. The next race is at Red Bull Ring Short. It's a tiny track, but it's going to be full of action, so make sure you like, subscribe and come and join us again next week. See you again soon.